Hello there, Vanity Fair. I'm Madea. Now, don't go pretend that you don't know me or you ain't heard of me. You know who the hell I am. This is the Madea universe, and I'm finna get you caught up, okay? Check it out. Now, you might have met me around back when my granddaughter, Helen, was splitting from her husband, Charles. He was bad news, dragging her out of the house by her hair, replacing her with some hoe that he already had 2 children with. After he threw her out, she makes her way over to my house. And when I heard what Helen's husband did, well, we might have just gone back to his house, allegedly. Ripped up the hoe's clothes, allegedly. Took a chainsaw to cut up all the furniture, allegedly, okay? That wasn't the first time I got an ankle bracelet, and it won't be the last time, but I'm working on it. On the other side of town, Helen had started dating a fine man. His name was Orlando, and eventually he gets up the nerve to propose to her one day. Girl, I listened to him. But that moment that Helen sees the news that Charles had got shot up in court by a man he was defending, well,
I have to go.
her mama murder tells baby you got to forgive. And Charles started having his own change of heart, and he apologized for treating her like trash for so long. So Helen literally helped him get back on his feet. But later on, Helen tells Charles that she's in love with somebody else. So they got the divorce, they signed the papers, and then she run out the door where Orlando is working, and she tell him, I love you, please take me. And the boy asks her to marry him. She jump in his arms. It's so beautiful. Y'all just gotta see it. You just gotta see it. On the other side of town, my niece Lisa, she getting ready to get married to this man named Carlos, a man who looks good on the outside, but it's just a nasty son of a bitch on the inside. He likes to hit on women, and Lisa most of all. And when her sister Vanessa brings her over to my house and tells me what's been going on, I tell her straight up, I know how to deal with a man that hits on a woman. So I cook a big old pot of grits, then I throw those grits right in his face. And as you throw it, you swat. Throw it and swat. You hear me? Throw it, swat. Come to find out, the girl's mama, Victoria, has been working with Carlos to drain my niece's trust fund, and she doesn't really care that he beats on her daughter. Now, Vanessa got a bus driver named Frankie, he's so fine, who is sweet on her, and the two of them start dating. The day Lisa's wedding come around, Lisa is in my kitchen, and when Carlos come knocking, my niece took all of my advice about giving that man them grits, and this is what she did.
Is everything all right?
It's fine, and I know that scream anyway. Come on, let's go to the church. Praise the Lord. God is good. When she get over there to the church and she tell the family there's not gonna be a wedding, Frankie stands up and proposes that day to Vanessa, and they take advantage of that day and all that money they spent on their wedding, and it was just beautiful. It was a beautiful wedding. Out in Chicago, my niece Brenda, who didn't know yet that she was my niece, was living paycheck to paycheck with her 3 children in the projects when she got a letter saying that her daddy died, and there was 4 bus tickets for her to come to Georgia to attend the funeral. But just before they leave, a recruiter named Harry comes to her door looking for her son Michael, who is a high school basketball star, and he wants to talk about Michael playing pro, but Brenda doesn't have time for that, and she gives him all the cold brush off. So she and the kids head on down to Georgia, and they met up at the bus station with Leroy Brown, my baby daddy, and my daughter Cora. Well, sort of my daughter, but I'll explain that later. So Brenda and the kids meet all of their newfound kin, and guess who lives in the same town? Harry, that fine recruiter, and he's got a thing for Brenda, and they start getting friendly, so the family just come together around them and for the reading of the will, and then it turns out that Brenda's daddy left her a house, but the house looked like it's falling apart, but she and the kids need to get back to the big city where they're from. Once they get home, Michael starts thinking he really needs to provide for his family, so he hits up a friend and starts selling them on the block, you know what they mean. But things go south real fast, and he ends up getting shot in the back. Yes, he did drama in this movie, baby. While he is healing, Brenda decides to move down to Georgia, and when they get there, their rundown shack that her daddy left her has been replaced by a gorgeous new house. Harry put up most of the money, who also signs on to be Michael's manager. So Brenda gets real suspicious that Harry is only after her because of Michael's potential to make him a lot of money. They get into a fight, but when Michael signs his pro deal, she finds out that Harry was only there to help guide his career, and he's not making a dime. Turns out he was a good man and wasn't an opportunist, and Brenda got to eat a little crow and apologize to him. That ain't no shit. Listen, anyway, they get back to talking, and they confess how much they love each other, and bam, we had another wedding, and all this loveliness is happening while I'm on the run from the cops. Turns out the popo didn't know how to Mirandarize to me, so they had to let me go. Judge set me free, but not before slapping on another ankle bracelet and ordered me to attend anger management. A DA named Josh, he was trying his case for solicit prostitution. He recognized this little girl named Candace, so he helped her out. His fiance Linda wasn't too happy that her man clearly had a history with a girl who was a corner worker, you know what I mean? Now on the other side of town, my daughter Cora was getting her hair done. Now I'm on house arrest, but I was hungry, and I'm a grown woman, so I should be able to go where I want to go, so I took myself to the Kmart. Now I'm about to pull into this parking spot, and this white woman just comes speeding in my space, right? I took a forklift, and I picked her car up and dropped it off about 20 feet in the air.
Old woman, put my car down!
Okay. She was lucky she wasn't in it, okay? That's all I'm saying. So I ended up going to prison for a long time. She and I was sitting in there rotting, me and Candy, but I was in there long enough to whoop some ass, take care of a couple of bullets, and become a prison mother and get some sweet cornrows. Girl, I look good. Right around that time, Joshua discovered that his jealous fiance had been adding crimes to people's sentences so that the judge would convict him. He dumps her at the altar, and hallelujah, Candy and I are set free. And then Josh reveals that the reason he fought so hard to get her out is that he loved her, he wanted something. Anyway, they fell in love, and it was just the sweetest thing. Now back at home, my niece Shirley went to the doctor and the news wasn't good. Her cancer is back. And she has less than a couple of months left on this earth. She rounds up all of her children to tell them the bad news over a family dinner. But Shirley's family got a lot of bad blood between them, especially between the sisters Kimberly and Tammy. And her son Byron, he ain't doing too great. He's just out of prison with a needy girlfriend and a baby mama with a voice that could bust guards' eardrums wide open. When they finally all get together for dinner at the table, Tammy and Kimberly get into a screaming match. Then Tammy reveals that their brother Byron is actually Kimberly's son that she had when she was only 13. Honey, it was so tense, I didn't know what to do at that table. And while all this is going on, my baby daddy, Leroy Brown, he goes to the doctor because he's not feeling well, probably just a little gas. But anyway, they asked my daughter Cora to donate some blood, and then she found out that she might not be actually his.
Madea, who's my daddy?
I don't want to talk about that, but that's what happened. Later on, Shirley takes a turn, honey, and everybody's gathered around her to say goodbye. We have a beautiful service for her. But when we get back to Shirley's home, I take the gloves off and I set everybody straight like a good grandmama would about how they not only did their mama wrong, but how they're messing with their own lives. Kimberly's marriage is about to end because she is mad at the world, and Tammy and her nasty little sons, I can't stand them little jokers, walk all over her and her because he's too soft. Now, Byron need to ditch his baggage with his girlfriend and his baby mama. Go get a job and provide for his son. Sometimes you just need a little tough Madea love. Later, Cora and Mr. Brown dragged me on to the Maury Povey show, honey, and they read the results of the DNA test.
Brown, you are not the father.
All of my whole days are caught up with me. Back in the city, my nephew's Brian's, his daughter Tiffany, she's 17. She thinks she's full grown, right? So her and her friends decide they're going to a Halloween party at a frat house. So Brian, he called me up and asked me to come over and watch his daughter while he's gone. And I'm like, hell no, I ain't gonna come over there. But then he says, I'll pay you. So I'm like, I'm on my way, I'll be right over there. Me and Bam and Hattie and Joe drive over, and once we get there, Tiffany doesn't waste any time pretending to go to sleep. Then she sneaks up out of the damn house. So we go over to the frat house and try to find out what's going on. But it's just mayhem and chaos and all these horror fests just going on. Just children just in costume was crazy. So we called the popo on it. But when we get back to the house, all sort of scary stuff started happening. The floorboards started creaking, writing messages on the mirror, big scary clowns coming out of the attic. So we get the hell out of that house, and that's what we did. That's the first thing we did. Got the hell out of there, got back in the car, and got on the road, and the car breaks down. Zombies come out of everywhere. Honey, we run straight to the church and find out that this was all them boys that had been scaring us all the time. So Brian comes home and finally puts his foot down with his daughter and tells her that if she can't abide by his rules, she out of the house. But right after that, the popos show up and tells us that a day is missing. So they head to the frat house, and there she is in the basement, dead. She's dead. And them and Tiffany and all her friends, they get arrested and thrown onto this bus to take them to the prison. But turns out I'm the true master of the prank because it was all fake, except for the police officers at the end that realized that I wasn't legal, and that was real as hell, so I got the hell out of there. Fast forward 1 year after the boys at the frat house are throwing another Halloween party, but this time out of the lake where a bunch of people got murdered, stupid stuff like that children do, and Tiffany plans on going. Seems like she didn't learn her lesson from the first time. So Brian isn't planning on doing anything about it this time, so I drag Bam, Hattie, and Joe out there to the lake to, you know, see what's going on so I can whoop some ass or guard my niece or whatever I need to do, or drag her back home. And it's just mayhem and chaos and horrificiousness out there with all these youth. But the party started going south real fast when a bunch of terrifying like little demon kids and big dudes with chainsaws started running around. And the car breaks down in front of one of them creepy houses where all these teenagers were hiding. And just when we're forming the plan, one of them little demon kids comes at us from out of the shadows, and we run screaming out of the house onto the road where Brian and another father are standing there waiting for us. Turns out that was all a prank that they had plotted to teach them teenagers some lessons. We got caught up in the middle of this, but Brian's lucky nobody got hurt. He better be lucky he didn't get hurt, okay? Because he would have been dead. And now you're all caught up on everything that has happened in Medea's world until now. So you won't have any questions when you go to the theaters to see my movie on March 1st, Medea's Family Funeral. Thank you. Don't forget to go see it. I'll see you later. I'm doing the cover of Vanity Fair.